What is up, everybody? Skadoosh. This is the Pretend Bread Boys podcast, episode 4. I am your host, Garrett Rocky. Alongside me, the man who needs no introduction, Nick Wilkerson.
Hello, everybody. How you doing?
It's just us two today.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's just us two, back to the original Pretend Bread Boys. No guest today. As we said before, we thought Eddie was going to be a permanent member of the Pretend Bread Boy squad, but he is actually not going to be. So he's going to be a guest speaker until he can decide that he's going to be here for multiple episodes in a row. Well, we record each and every Wednesday or Thursday, and the podcast goes live Thursday night or Friday. You can also catch us on all podcasts around the world, all podcast services around the world, and our MP3 video goes up live on YouTube / Pretend Bread Boys podcast every Sunday. I'm sorry I didn't get that episode up, though. I have to get that episode 3 up. I was out of town. I was actually on vacation. So that doesn't count. That doesn't count, guys. I'm sorry about that. Anyway, let's begin the show with what have you been playing this week?
Oh man,
That's the permanent thing now, dude.
Permanent thing, yeah.
Permanent
exactly.
First topic.
Yes. So of course the Handsome Collection came out. So
Woohoo!
I've been playing the
Yes.
shit out of that.
Yes.
I think Borderlands 2 is like craziest game ever. Like,
I have never played it until you popped my cherry. Yes.
The game is nuts, dude.
That game is nuts. I just got to level like 9 today, and I am excited about it. That game is fun. Really fun.
Like 200 hours of gameplay
in one game.
in one game.
Not even the other one.
The first game.
You'll never get to the pre-sequel because it's like nobody cares. Nobody cares about that game. But yeah, that game just came out. That's what I just started playing yesterday on Tuesday, and after the 900,000 gigabyte download, I finally started playing the game this morning. Not this morning, last night. I don't know. That doesn't matter anymore.
Really. It's kind of
Also, I was playing. We played Destiny a little bit, but not too much. And then
over Destiny until House of Wolves.
Until House of Wolves comes out, I'm over Destiny as well. Yeah, I've been playing this stupid game on my iPhone called Mr. Jump.
Flappy Bird Touch, basically.
Basically, it's Flappy Bird, but like Pitfall style. So you play as this little cube man, and you can't touch the water, and that game makes you rage quit. So if you guys want to go check that game out, it's the editor's choice right now. It's free. I think normally it's 99 cents, but it's a rage quit fest.
It's a Dude, that's what everybody likes on iPhones. And
rage quit. It makes me unhappy. It makes me not want to enjoy the game.
That makes them play it more.
Yeah, I guess.
It gets addicting.
So those are the games we've been playing. All right. On for some, do you want to do the news or some topics first?
Let's do topics.
Do some topics first? All right, let me open this up in my phone. We're in the 21st century now. No more paper and pencil unless we really need to do that because we had the first 3 episodes on a sheet of paper and I got tired of writing it. Wow. Yes. Also, games coming out this week. I'm just gonna do it. Forget it. Games came out this week. We've got Bloodborne. PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4 exclusive. Borderlands Handsome Collection on Xbox One and PS4. What else came out? There was another game that just came out too.
I was only caring about those 2.
Those are the only 2 you cared about?
Yeah.
Oh, I got I was outbid on eBay. Dang. Oh well, I don't even need that anyway. All right, so let's start the show then. Podcast topic as well. If you guys have any questions or comments about our show, please email us for any topics or ideas you have at pretendbreadboys@yahoo.com. The Yahoo's temporary until we find a better thing because Jamie's working on my fiance is working on a website or something for us. So we'll have a pretendbreadboys@pbb.com pretty soon. I'm pretty sure. Wow. All right. First topic. Do you think that franchises are the only way that companies earn money or revenue, or do you think it's just a safe bet for the companies so that they don't have to start a new game and run the risk of spending millions of dollars and then not getting
And
millions
fail.
of yes.
Well, yeah, I think it's safe, and it's also been proven to be, a way better moneymaker than coming out with individual different games.
Right.
Same thing with Call of Duty, right? They're not
Mhm.
going to change it up and make a Call of Wheat or a Call of Knives.
Call of Wheat? What the heck? What the heck is that game?
Country farming game, Call of Wheat.
Call of Wheaties. Coming
Yeah,
to a
I mean, they're gonna
PlayStation
make-
near you.
They're good. I mean, it's in anything though, right?
Yeah.
Phones. I mean, one person comes out with a 5.5-inch screen. Not everybody has a 5.5-inch screen. Even
Most
Apple.
people do nowadays.
Yeah,
I'm
so-
sorry. I'm just letting you know. Most people do.
Exactly. So I mean, people do what's popular, especially
Mhm.
with technology. And in games, is similar, I guess. Like you have games like Dying Light that just completely came out of nowhere.
Yeah, right? It just
And-
showed up one
and
day.
now that's going to be a franchise. I can't see them stop making, Dying Light. Same thing with Dead Island. How many Dead Islands are there? Like 3? 4?
There's going to be the third Dead Island 2, which is actually should be 3, but
Yeah.
because Riptide was just like
Riptide
an
was just
expansion or something.
yeah.
I don't know.
Riptide was an expansion.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Yes, I think it's a good way to make revenue. And it's what they kind of do is they kind of ride the wave, as long
Mhm.
as they can for each game.
Right.
Especially if they blow up huge in the beginning.
I actually don't like that though, because I personally, some games that are franchises are cool. Like I think Borderlands is a cool idea. Like there it shows you that game can last you forever before the next one comes
Before
out.
the next one comes out, yeah.
Excuse me. But I think that I don't know. I think franchises are just a safe bet. I think it's easy for them to make revenue. It's like Assassin's Creed. They're like on the 17th Assassin's Creed game, and
Call
it's
of
like,
Duty too.
but they're slowly. I think that game, like Assassin's Creed,
There's nothing
is
more they can do with it.
yeah, it's slowly going downhill. Like not many people are buying it anymore because every other game there's a issue with it.
Yeah.
Call of Duty is the same way. People get burnt out by the end of the year, and a new one comes out, but it's still like, ugh, it's Call of Duty, and a bunch of little kids play the game now.
Yep.
Unless you're like some farmer or a construction worker that just wants to hang out with his buddies at the end of the day. Hey, Billy. I don't know. I think Call of Duty, Assassin's Creed, those franchises are kind of like going down a little
Yeah,
bit.
they kind of hit stale.
Games like Battlefield, I think that's a good franchise.
They changed it though, right?
Because yeah, they
changed it
actually
up pretty
did
good.
something new.
Well-
But they still have like the huge like mainstream weapons like that the United States military will use, but like the police officers have them and criminals have them.
Okay, let's be honest about Battlefield. It's the same thing in a different wrapper. That's all it is. They
It
just-
is.
Because I mean, like
It's
I was telling you earlier,
Battlefield without a desert. This time
Yeah.
there's a city around you.
dude, and it's like I was telling you earlier. Remember what police unit in the world drives around in an SUV with a minigun strapped on top? I don't know any.
Los Angeles.
Not
Police.
even. They didn't even.
Doesn't it take place in LA?
They have shitty squad cars.
Doesn't it take place in LA though? I don't know.
Yes.
I haven't played the game. I was gonna pre-order, but I took my pre-order off of it.
I played the beta. It was cool, but I mean, it's the same thing. It's just different wrappers. So.
I think because they do have a lot of the same guns. I don't
Same mechanics.
I don't really care for
Exact
the
same
shoot.
mechanics.
I think the shooting they went too realistic with it, and it makes
really
it
hard.
not fun because it's like I can't see.
Super
It's like
hard
I'm
recoil.
shooting the sky now. I know. And the driving mechanics for like helicopters. Oh my god,
They're hard.
dude, you just want to shoot yourself because you fly into a building every single time.
Some people get good at it though. Some people.
I was good at flying jets. It took me the longest time. When I was playing Battlefield 3 on my PlayStation, I would crash into buildings all the time. I was like, how do you fly this thing?
It's pretty hard.
And then some people had like their rank of the airplane like 400%, and mine was like I'm just like this noob trying to fly an airplane, and the minute I like take off, like you were killed. It's like no,
Exactly. You had to use like 3 thumbsticks and 4 buttons, and
Yeah.
then shout command.
yeah. I think so games like Battlefield, they're doing it right. They're not coming out. It's a franchise, but it's not every year. It's not annualized, so it's not gonna kill the
They
franchise.
tried that for a while.
They
but
tried, but it
yeah.
wasn't working because the games are coming out broken. Like Battlefield 4 came out
was
really close, like
holy
2
crap.
years after Battlefield
People
3.
just gave up on that game, dude.
Yeah.
They gave up halfway.
So I think, or like a year and a half or a year after Battlefield 3 came out, that game came out.
Yeah,
I
they
think they had
tried to
really
do it.
nice graphics. It looked really realistic,
Graphics
and that
were
was the
amazing,
most
yeah.
realistic game I've actually played. But I think they struggled with the mechanics and server issues.
And that's the thing with PS4 or new gen consoles, right? You
Mhm.
try to push the graphics so hard that it strains everything else in the game,
Yeah, I think that's
Um,
also like a pretty bad idea.
Yeah.
Like graphics are great, but I want to have good mechanics. Like our game that we're working on, we have simple mechanics now, nothing too crazy, but it's just like it's just the quality of the game experience, I guess, not how it looks.
Well,
both
that's true.
both
It's
work
both,
both work together.
Look at indie games, right? They have great mechanics, but the graphics.
But they're all
never,
side-scrolling games.
Yeah, so,
you know.
I mean, the only other game that had crazy graphics
Mm-hmm.
was that used the full potential or close to the full potential of the PS4 was Killzone and
No, I don't think Killzone really
Killzone
did.
was nuts.
It was the first game to really sell the PS4 though. Like look at the new graphics of Killzone, like because all the other ones were really dark and dirty and gritty, and this one was like really pretty and shiny and like
That's
look,
what I mean.
there's
they
a
focused
tree.
on graphics. They were trying to show off the PS4.
They were showing off what it could do at the
But,
time, but now since software upgrades, like they've
what's
been
the game Sucker Punch made?
Infamous Second Son.
The graphics were amazing on that too.
My first platinum on the PS4.
But they were the simple mechanics, right? Simple.
No, I think they got a little advanced because there's a lot of things I didn't do on the skill tree. Like I've upgraded everything 100%, but there was buttons I totally forgot about, like dash, slide, fly in the sky, and then grab someone by the neck and throw them. It's like I forgot about that. Like
but still,
square,
it's
triangle,
based on
circle.
Simple like movable mechanics, like grabbing, throwing, and then you're shooting something out of your hand.
Yeah.
But games like Battlefield, with so much going on at one time, you can't have both. I don't think yet. Anyway.
Yeah, because that's what kills, I think, franchises coming out yearly.
The servers die, dude.
Yeah, annualizing it, I think it's not as a bad idea. So Battlefield's doing it right, coming out every couple of years. I don't know what's another franchise. Infamous is a franchise game because they've came out with 4 games already.
Four
already.
Yeah.
So the first 2, and then there was an expansion for that one.
Yeah, but there's not much you can do anymore.
They've come out with 3 official.
I mean, at the end of the
titles.
other game, though, spoilers if you haven't played it yet. I can't see where the story's gonna go. You know what I mean?
For what?
For
Infamous?
Yeah.
Well, they had a new character completely in this one. So you
so-
play as Delsin Rowe, and you just happen to be an Indian white guy from Washington State.
It's weird.
So I don't know. I think that's a game that's a franchise, but it's not like it's not a bad franchise. I think the second one is the best. I didn't really finish it, so I don't know.
It was like 4 years in between.
Yeah, it was like 4 years in between each game. I mean, Fallout is another good example of a really good franchise.
They've had issues with their company, though. That's why it's taking them so long for a while.
Yeah, there's a lid on that place. Like, I'm surprised nothing's leaked. There's been some leaks before, like, by the way, I'm voice acting for this game. But it's like that's not really a leak though. That's just some idiot actor trying to say like,
Twitter feed.
check out what I got. I'm working on this project. I'm working on Fallout. What are you working on? I don't know.
He's trying to boost his Twitter feed.
Yeah, get some followers.
Yeah, but yeah, that's gonna be nuts if that game comes out.
It is. I definitely think most franchises are a safe bet because you see more franchises than new games.
Of course, I mean, and most new games are trying to be franchises.
I know, but a lot of them don't.
What's another one?
Like Watch Dogs was
Square Enix.
Which one? Final Fantasy?
Final Fantasy, and then also Tomb Raider is a franchise.
Tomb Raider's a really good franchise.
And
though.
what's the other one?
What is the one that came out? The first franchise.
Naughty Dog and Uncharted.
Oh, Uncharted. That's a bomb franchise. I mean, I don't care that each game
Those
comes
are
out
movie
4
games.
years in a row. Like every 4 years, a new game comes out. Because you got. Actually, no, I don't think it was every 4. I think it was every 3 because PS3 launched with Uncharted Drake's Fortune. And then
it was a bundle.
And then the Uncharted 2, which was Honor Among Thieves or something. I don't remember the name of it, but that game was really good. 3, Drake's Deception was okay, and then Thief's End. I mean, I have no problem with them coming out 3 years in a row. I mean, we got 3 Uncharted's on PS3, and that game really pushed the graphical limits of the PlayStation 3.
Oh my god,
surprisingly,
crazy, yeah.
So I think that's a really good franchise. Also, it's a safe bet. Also, I think because you got that Uncharted following now, and then you also have the Tomb Raider following, which I think Tomb Raider is pulling a lot from Uncharted, and then Uncharted 4 is pulling a lot from what Tomb Raider did. Jeez. Just dropping things. Relax over there.
That didn't happen.
Yes, I mean Tomb Raider. I mean the game was really good.
It was.
It
was a movie game. I mean, not really. But
and that game was amazing on PlayStation 3.
There was a lot of cinematics.
I didn't play the
amazing,
definitive edition or whatever for the new.
It's the same thing.
The same thing, right?
Yeah. So
I don't know. I thought that was a really, really, really strong game.
in case of repackaging games, I think that was a poor choice in repackaging Tomb Raider.
Yeah, it wasn't that amazing of a game, but I mean, it was still a good game, you know?
Well, because the playability wasn't that high at all.
Yeah, because most people that already bought that game bought it again. So it's like,
Yeah,
I was surprised, actually.
like Borderlands is different. That's a game you can play forever, like forever.
Fallout is too.
Fallout
Jeez.
too,
I'm
exactly.
telling you, when Fallout 4 comes out,
No
I'm
life.
not playing any game. I'm not playing any other game until I beat that game.
What if you hate it?
No, I hated New Vegas. I played the beginning and I was like, oh, this is different. Like, oh, the guy rescued me or whatever. The first one I liked a lot. You actually grew up in the
Yeah,
vault.
dude,
Like,
that
that
was
was
a mess.
dope. And that's what I think made me, like, connect with the game more. When I first opened the vault, I was like, jeez.
Dang.
Like, I just saw the world. I was like, dang. And then
was
Fallout
good,
New
yeah.
Vegas wasn't really like that because you already saw the world before you started the game. So
Mhm.
you were out in the open already, and then you get killed, and the guy brings you back to life or somehow, or you didn't die. He like grazed your head, the
Yeah,
bullet.
something like
I
that.
don't know. But I think that was really interesting. I didn't really feel the same connection to Fallout New Vegas as I did to 3. And that's why I hope that Fallout 4 does it right.
Yeah, I think they will. I mean, they've had enough time. They have enough fans.
What is it, like 6 years?
Yeah,
They've
they've
came
had
out
enough input.
2007. That's when Fallout 3 came out.
Mhm.
And in New Vegas was 2009.
9, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
They've had enough fan input to know what the fans want and how to make their game. So I
Mhm.
mean, I think it'll be great. We'll have to see though.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, hopefully. I don't know. All right, next topic. Which one do you think we should do? First one? Second one?
Second.
Second? The second one? Okay, this is a hard one. This is
Yeah,
a
pretty
hard
hard.
topic. All right.
Pretty hard.
How do small startup game developers grow in the game industry?
Indies.
Like, how do you, talking about indie developers or just startup companies or just people like us?
I
Because
think
I know we're starting
thinking
our
outside
game.
the box, dude. I think that's
Mhm.
that's something that indie developers do a lot more than big companies
Yeah.
because they don't. They have less to fall. I mean, they have less to lose. Is what I'm saying. So like a big company takes a risk and and everybody hates it. They just wasted $200 million. You know.
That's so true.
So I mean, an indie developer, we take chances and we do extraordinary creative things.
So do you think it's
Yeah.
that taking chances are the way to get people to
I think thinking outside the box. I mean, like the
Mhm.
game that's classified, but we'll say 20 objects are being thrown.
Mhm.
That we were trying to develop. I think that's out of the box game.
Yeah.
Who-
It took me a second to I was like, what? Wait,
20
20 objects, classified, thrown. What?
You have the barrel roll.
And then I remember what you were talking. Oh yeah, the dive and roll.
Yeah.
That was funny.
Yeah. So I mean, that's something that you don't see ever,
Mhm.
especially indie games. There's a lot of indie games out there that I think big companies need to take from.
Yeah, definitely.
I think big companies are taking a chance on indies now, especially like PlayStation and Xbox. They're supporting us a lot more, but for us to get noticed, got to be something different.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the hard part.
That's the truth.
Trying to build something that no one else has done already. Like how many Flappy Bird versions are there out there? There's Flappy Cat, Flappy Frog, that weird game you're playing.
Oh,
but it's
Mr. Jumpy?
reverse Flappy Bird. It's reverse. You notice that?
no.
Instead of flying and not touching you can't
Oh,
touch
now
the
you
ground.
have to- you have
now
to
you
run.
have to like jump on things.
Yeah.
It's reverse.
Yeah, so I do think that. I think that's
Candy
true.
Crush.
Like you have to. Candy Crush is boring. I don't know. People are all
I don't
obsessed
understand how
about it.
people are so addicted to that.
Yeah, I don't either.
It's like eighth wonder of the world. Anyway,
But I think that's true though. I mean, just coming up with something different is
pretty
the
tough.
way that it's is how you stand out, I guess. And that's how a new company gets to grow. And I think that if you have a solid game or like a good idea in the beginning and either release it for free or just advertise
that's
and
another
get that following for it.
sampling your game.
Yeah.
Yeah, getting your game out there.
Yeah, getting it out there, getting people to see it and play it. I think that's another good way that like startup companies can, or startup indies or
Indie
a group
booth.
of people, yeah, or just get a booth at
E3.
not get a booth, but like fill out like a form for Indiecade or whatever.
Mhm.
There's Indiecade
Oh, yeah,
East now.
Indiecade,
They just
yeah.
started. There's Indiecade over here, the original one
by
that
your
just
house.
started by my house here in downtown Culver City. I don't know. I think that just getting the interaction between people playing your game versus people that are actually gonna see your game is two different things.
Yeah.
Like I can go walk by a booth and be like, "Oh, that game looks cool," but I'm never gonna play it.
Yeah.
You got to get actually people to touch it and play it. And
Plus, they were doing an E3 last year when we went.
the first year they had like indie superhero booth or whatever it was. Like,
Oh yeah, it was first year.
All the
First
indies,
year we
all the
went.
developers were dressed like superheroes. It's like you guys.
Well,
look
last
such
year they
idiots.
had that too. It's when me and Eddie didn't go inside.
Yeah, and then Sean was
You and
making fun
Hobbs.
of them
Yeah.
because they look like idiots, dressed like I don't know. I think stuff like that is just.
But it got them noticed though,
It
right?
got them noticed. They had that whole hallway, and that was full of indie games that you can go play.
It was cool.
But
They give you free prizes and stuff. So
yeah. So
Good way to do
getting out there and just like letting people explore and play your game and get it. I think that's a good way to continue to grow. And even though you don't have a huge following at first, I mean, if you're paying your employees or if you guys are just slaving and working in like a basement for free, like we are, just trying to get something out there. So people can play it is the key, I guess,
Yes.
And even getting your game on like a console like right now is really really easy. Like
PS4,
PlayStation and
Xbox is a little harder.
The ID at Xbox, they open a new program where now they're giving, you send your game to them or whatever they test it or whatever they do to it,
Red tape.
or something to it, and then
Yeah.
they send you the Xbox development kit for free.
Mm-hmm.
And same thing with PlayStation, they do that too now.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how exclusives work because we're not there yet.
Yeah, but I think PlayStation is. I don't know. I feel like PlayStation is tuned because all their free games are indies now, which
Mhm.
is pretty cool. Well, not all of them, but most of them.
Most of them are free
Yeah.
because I think they work out like partnerships with them.
Yeah, which is pretty cool. I mean, because everybody's gonna download a free game, right?
Mhm.
Especially if it's on PlayStation. Why not? Why wouldn't you? Save it in your library if you don't play it.
Yeah. Well, that's perfect. It kind of goes into the next one where.
I mean, look at what's that indie game that it was like the first exclusive.
Which one?
Oh crap! It's like the little kid with the hair, and you survive, and you gotta build wood.
Oh no, that was that's actually on. It's not exclusive because it's on all the platforms. It started on Steam. Don't Starve.
Don't Starve. Yeah, but I mean like the first one on PS4, it blew up, dude. It got like a bazillion downloads.
Yeah, so did
It's crazy.
Outlast. That was an indie development team.
Well, yeah, Outlast and Don't Starve. Yeah.
Don't Starve. Yeah, those came at the same time.
Well, Outlast started like pandemic, dude. The video camera, and then like
Yeah.
4 other games came out
Yeah.
from developers with the same idea. Or a video camera with a flashlight or a phone. What was a phone?
That's another thing I think is really tough now. Is like coming up with an idea that nobody else has before they release
Or
it.
changing that idea so that it seems different.
I think that's what another big problem is, or a big struggle with a lot of the companies nowadays. It's
Oh,
like,
yeah, of
oh
course.
man, can I get this out before someone else gets it out? And most of the time it's no, because most people have ideas like that.
I think there's one franchise I think that's like hasn't been copied yet, which is weird to me. It's a Mass Effect series. It's almost
Disney kind of tried.
no.
They tried.
They're nowhere near.
Well, it's kind
Destiny
of hard
is
to
an
copy
MMO
that
style.
game.
What I mean is having cinematics, kind of like a Drake's Fortune,
Mm-hmm.
but also having the gameplay, third person where you can see your character and
Mm-hmm.
actually have it in tune with characters, and you're like connected to everybody, and your decisions affect the outcome. You know what I mean? Of like the whole game of how it ends, which is nuts. And then on top of that, what you do in the first game changes everything that happens in the second game, and so on and so forth,
Right.
which is pretty cool. That's a franchise that I would like to see more of. Like they were saying that about Destiny, right? You can port your player, but there's no decisions in Destiny, so you're just porting your character.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Or like a Fallout. Say you play Fallout 1, it impacts what happens in Fallout 2, and then that impacts what happens in Fallout 3. You know what I mean? That'd be dope.
It doesn't though.
I know.
They're all new stories.
And that's what I'm saying. It's Mass Effect's the only one that does that, and I'm like, it should be different.
Mhm.
That's the thing I think I would like to see catch on for indie developers, especially sequels. Indie developers, that'd be cool, man. Like a Don't Starve.
Yeah, that kind of goes into the next topic where our indie developer teams, the only teams that are taking the risks with creating games, or do both AAA and indie games take equal risks?
No, I think indie games.
I think for sure the indie games, like we just talked about, they have no they're not worried about anything.
They have nothing to lose.
Yeah, they have nothing to lose. They're just trying to get their stuff out there. They want to be seen for what they have and not what they do. They want to be seen. Like these people are also trying to get jobs too, I guess.
Exactly,
Like they're all trying to get jobs as like a storyteller. They're trying to get jobs as a programmer, or a level designer, game designer.
Producer.
They want people to see what they actually have in their minds, so
The
other
talent,
people
yeah.
can can hire them, because I think a lot of people that come from the bigger companies, that started in the bigger companies, they end up leaving to make their own stuff because they want to do something different.
And it's not what the company wants.
When the smaller teams love what they're doing, but they're also trying to get to that level. So I don't know. I think it's like it's kind of like a win-win, because either way you have people striving to do something different in the game industry. Like I just said, if say I'm working at Square Enix for like 15 years because I just got a job at Square Enix.
Square Enix?
Yes, Square. This episode brought to you. No, I was kidding. No, so I just got a job there. This is for real though. I actually did get a job at Square Enix. And this is my first like huge game studio job. I'm a little nervous to go in there.
Yeah,
but,
I am too.
Yeah. Then Nick's got an interview for Square
Tomorrow.
On Thursday when this podcast will be going live. So when you're listening to it, he probably is in an interview. Tripping out. Yeah. So I just got a job there, and I'm still working on games on the side. But I think working on games while you're inside, seeing what they're doing, and then building your own on the side is the way to go.
Yeah.
Most people just make a whole like 180, and they're just like, you know what, I'm working at this place, and I'm tired of working on Call of Duty games. And then they just make their own. Then they make their own. Yeah. Then they make their own company, and then they start making their own indie games.
Sean didn't do that though. He just said, "I'm gonna go teach."
No, he has a company. He makes that stupid goat simulator game.
Yeah,
that's nuts. Where you slice the goat all up. Yeah, so I think that it's good though. You have people that want to move into the industry and people that want to leave and make their own industry.
Yeah.
So I think that's what's really pushing the whole like envelope now. Why games are even big games like look at Ubisoft. Is it Ubisoft? Ubisoft? I don't know. Anyway, but they came out with Child of Light. You play that game, it's like, oh, what indie team made this, or what's the game developer that you would never expect, like Ubisoft to make something like that, and that's what I think is nuts.
Yeah,
they had a whole team that was basically like an indie team make a AAA game that was an indie game, so it's kind of like a Inception, but I mean that's what happened. I mean, I think that was a great idea and something that was really unique that they did.
I think it's a good balance too.
I mean,
if you have the AAA games companies taking risks, then
I think Child of Light was a risk that actually paid off. That was like a good idea
outside of the box.
And then
they made opposite.
They also did the same thing with Valiant Hearts, which is free on PlayStation this month, I think.
Yeah, this month.
Again. But that game was really I played a little bit of it. You play as the dog, and you it's happening when in World War I. So it's not World War II or anything. It's just World War I, and you play as this rescue dog. And I think that's really unique, though. It's like a side-scrolling game like Child of Light was, and you're dumb. And that was a good idea. That game paid off, dude. Those two games are what people want to play nowadays.
Indies,
something like that. And people like the 3D graphics are good, and they come out 2 times a year, 3 times a year. They get a amazing AAA title, you know. But most of the time they're all broken.
Yeah.
You know, look at Watch Dogs was boring. This is stupid. It's Grand Theft Auto with a cell phone, with a special cell phone.
That's what it was.
You know, and I wear a cloak. Basically, that's what Watch Dogs was. And that was a new franchise, and that was a risk that they took, but it didn't work. So I think things like that is what makes companies say, I don't know.
A good risk to look at is
that was Ubisoft as well.
Yeah, Grand Theft Auto, right? Was popular, right? GTA 5, and then Square Enix.
Square Enix.
They came out with Sleeping Dogs, right? It's a Grand Theft Auto style game, but in China, no guns. You use, your wits. And
you play as a Yakuza guy, right?
Yeah, and you're undercover cop.
You're an undercover.
Yeah.
I haven't played it, so I don't know.
You'll use guns maybe 3 or 4 times throughout the game. Most of it's karate and cool moves. So what they did was
karate and cool moves.
Like a Bruce Lee. No,
Seller.
Yes.
That makes me want to go buy the game.
Get it
this second.
Nuts.
Seller.
I mean, they incorporated a little bit of Chinese culture in there. It's you can build your apartment, buy air conditioners and stuff.
Because Chinese culture is building an apartment.
No, not actually building it. I mean, buying the stuff for the inside is what I mean.
You gotta get that Buddha statue.
But that's an idea, right? That's Square Enix trying to think outside the box on something that it's already been made.
Yeah, and I think a good game that came out, actually wasn't that good, was Murdered Soul Suspect. That was a Square game as well, but, that was a risk, and it didn't really pay off.
Yeah. It didn't, but I mean, it was a good start, I think, for what they can do with the game.
And I think what killed the game itself was that it came out on last gen consoles like way after last gen was over.
Yeah.
Like they didn't even port it or anything. I think it came out on PS4, but it didn't move any units because people were kind of confused, and it just kind of came out one day, and it wasn't
advertised.
It wasn't really advertised. You didn't see any billboards for it. Yep. You don't see there was no marketing behind it.
Because Call of Duty takes up all the billboards at that time of the year.
That's true. I don't know. I think that's the downside to things like that. They just kind of come out and it's like, oh, that game came out. Like what? When did it come out? People don't know these things.
Yeah.
Just like Child of Light, there was a huge pushing for that. Like I know IGN pushed that game. I know
PlayStation too.
GameSpot and PlayStation did. Mm-hmm. Xbox did. They all really pushed that game hard. I mean, I know it was a AAA
first turnaround. Yeah.
Yeah, I know it was a AAA game. But I think that's what they didn't even need any advertisement. It was more of like word of mouth kind of thing, and like advertising in the stores. And when I walk in at GameStop, they don't have any Child of Light billboards or posters or anything because it's like, whoa, it's all digital content. You know what I mean?
Exactly. So I mean, also, what's the game that Hobbs is all excited for? Transistor was another indie game that like blew up out of nowhere.
Yeah, I didn't know. It just kind of came out one day.
Came out of nowhere and then
it still sold a lot. It blew up a lot.
Yeah,
and then people were talking about Transistor. And it's like, what's Transistor?
Yeah, it's a cool little puzzle.
Yeah, because there's not like really advertising. It's word of mouth kind of thing, and I think that's what sold the game.
That's another way indies. It's word of mouth. I mean,
that's
you just
true.
Mention it to like a Sean.
Mentioned it to Mr. Watson.
And he mentions it to the guy who made the laser rifle in Call of Duty. By the way, he told us that while we were watching the trailer for it.
He did, yeah. That? When we were in school, Sean Watson, S. Watson,
Professor Perp,
Professor Perp, as he likes to be called when he's at work. He actually said that he came up with a concept with that for the gun. I think it was the EM1.
EM1, yeah.
The EM1. He came out with that concept, but it was supposed to be in Ghosts. It was supposed to be in Call of Duty Ghost. But then they scrapped the gun, and then all the assets went to Sledgehammer, and then they started that gun did not get put into development until like a year and a half before it came out.
Yeah.
So
that's a risk too. Laser guns.
The laser guns. So I think that went perfectly with Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, but it wouldn't have worked in Ghost. So I see why they scrapped it.
Yeah.
It makes sense now. Like I get it. But one of our teachers from school, before we graduated, we were watching trailers for it, and he's like, "Oh, I made that gun."
He's like, "I bet you there's a laser gun in the next trailer."
Yeah, because he already knew. That's the thing. He left. I don't know. He left Raven, or what company was he working for? Infinity Ward.
Infinity Ward.
He left Infinity Ward to make his own stuff, and I think that was nuts.
Now he has a pretty cool company.
Now he has his own company with some other guy with a beard. I don't know his name. I think his name's John. Actually.
A lot of guys in the game company have beards now.
We started a game called it's kind of controversial. It was a coma simulator. It was just a game basically where you that was a risk. That would have been a crazy nutso risk.
99% no turnaround.
And it was gonna be. I don't know if we said it was gonna be an iPhone or if it was just gonna be like a surgeon simulator game where you just are the guy getting surgery, or you're the guy in the hospital bed. And all you see is like a black screen and just like quick commands that you have to do with your fingers. Like it pop up on the screen and your heart rate starts going up and you have to like control the breathing. And it was like a game. Like it started out as just a black screen with a beep.
That should have came out.
So all you heard was a boop. Like that's all it was. Boop, 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 boop. I couldn't get it out. It was like boop, boop, boop. But yeah, dude. So that's what it came out as, and that was a risk. So I don't think you don't see a big company coming out with a game like that. I mean,
they have too much money behind what they're doing.
A game that was really fun. I don't know if you played Surgeon Simulator.
Yeah,
that game's hard as hell.
Oh yeah, it's hard.
I didn't start playing that game until one of my friends came over. He was like, "Yo, dude, what's this game?" Because we were watching videos about it, like rage quit videos, and it was like some British guy and some English guy. They were just talking, and the British guy was like raging. And the British guy was like, shut up. Like, I'm playing this game. What do you mean? Drop the hammer here? Like, what do you mean? Like, playing like an idiot. It was two people playing. One was on the mouse and one was on the keyboard. And they were, like, trying to figure out the game. I think it was, like, the Rooster games or whatever they do on YouTube, like the Let's Plays. Mm-hmm. But that game, Surgeon Simulator, started as a... you know what it started as? It started as like a Ludum Dare or like a game jam. It started as that. And then it became, like, this nuts phenomenon and everyone wanted to play it.
Yeah.
So that was a risk. I don't see a big company
That's word
making
of mouth,
something
too.
like that. That's a big word of mouth game, and that's the truth.
Truth.
That's the truth. All right. Okay. Next topic. How can one of the big three companies start falling behind? We're talking about Nintendo here. How do you think Nintendo can? What can they do to get that cult following back for Nintendo fans and followers? Like, how can they be falling behind in this whole race of console races?
Man, they're stuck in the 90s. I mean, Nintendo's great. Their games are great. Their characters are great. The amiibo thing is cool, but it's not really enough to keep up with Sony and Microsoft. Sony and Microsoft are jumping to 4K now. They're jumping to
yeah, which Nintendo barely got 1080, which was the Wii U.
Yeah, and they still have 32 gigs on their hard drive. So it's like, I don't know. I think the console that they're developing now needs to be a mind blower for them to stay afloat in this console race anymore.
The NX.
Yeah, the NX. Yeah. I mean, because Sony and Microsoft are jumping away from consoles. They're like virtual reality now. It's like the next thing.
Yeah, they're moving into like Morpheus, and then you've got the VR cloud headset or whatever it's called that Microsoft is working, and it's like real space though.
Even HTC made one.
Yeah.
So I think Nintendo has to jump at least to the 1080p world and have a console that's worth getting. I know their store is pretty bad. They need to fix
the Wii U store.
They need to fix
I think
their store.
it's really simplified. It's not as complicated, but it needs some work. I think they're falling behind so bad that like I don't know.
They're handhelds.
The games you can't lie. There's no issues with the games.
No, of course.
There's no one bug in the game.
Well, look at their graphics and their
graphics
bit rate is down there still.
But the graphics are good. Like like with Wind Waker, that's a nuts game. That game looks like amazing, and they did every asset over again. Yeah. I mean, there's no issues with the game. You'd think that a game that completely got redone, even like the Majora's Mask or the 3DS games, like the graphics are built for those systems. And I don't know. I think that games like that are what is going to keep them up, but it's not enough. Like you don't have enough people saying, "Oh, Mom, I want the new Nintendo" or whatever. Like how it was when the GameCube came out. Everybody wanted to play the 007 game. Everyone wanted to play the Smash Bros. Or Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4. You know what I mean? Like now people don't want to play those games anymore. People are moving over to like real life games, and all these kids want to play Call of Duty and
so
the newest Grand Theft Auto game.
I mean, Nintendo doesn't have to make real life games. They just have to make the transition to different type. Because I mean, Mario and Smash Bros is cool. It's dope, but I mean, it's not going to keep them afloat.
Yeah.
They have to explore other options. I know they're a company that's strong on what they believe in. They like the the old school games. They think they're the best, but unfortunately the handheld is the only thing helping them right now.
That's true. That's true. The 3DS is the only thing that's boosting their
actually
sales.
Amiibos is jumped off a lot too for the Wii.
Yeah,
Wii U.
Tell me about it.
Because I mean that was a cool thing that you brought up though, but still I don't think it's gonna keep them afloat.
I know, but I think because they're giving you like especially like these Amiibos. I think it gave them like their second wind in this generation, because if Nintendo goes away, most people will predict that the game industry will go away, and I don't really think that's the truth anymore, because Nintendo is sure it's a big pillar of huge pillar of the game companies and the game industry as a whole, and they were the one that kind of maintained the industry itself while Atari was going downhill, and all sorts of other game companies like Sega was going down, these companies, and then Sony was coming up with their first PlayStation, but Nintendo was the one that actually has been around since the 80s.
Yeah.
They've been, supposedly they're already going in their 150th year of business.
150, yeah.
Of business, though. Like, they've been around for a long time. Who knows if they're selling fish or something in Japan. I don't know what they're doing. Or selling swords or whatever. But
swords? Wow.
But the Amiibo is the second wind, I think. I think that they really were struggling this generation because they only have the handheld that's actually doing work. And then releasing games on the same game on two systems, kind of like the 3DS version of Smash Bros. And then the Wii U version, there's no difference in the game. Mm-hmm. Just one is for a big console and one's for a little console. I'm surprised that they didn't give you both games when you bought the bigger version, like PlayStation All-Stars.
Well, they have to make money.
And I'm a huge fan of these Amiibo, as you know.
Oh my God.
We've talked about
Amiibo
it like 3 weeks in a row. I need to go to AA, Amiibos Anonymous, because as of like, I don't know, a few days ago, I have every single Amiibo.
Not the gold one.
No, my mom got one for me though.
Wow.
She found one. She found one on online. So I was like, yes.
Dang.
Yeah, dude. So I don't know. I mean, I think these amiibos are selling like hotcakes right now, and they're really saving them.
Yeah, but it's
they're
not.
saving
But it's not
them.
something that's gonna last. I think the amiibos are kind of a fad thing.
Yeah, I think the thing that's gonna really work with them well now is that they're moving into mobile games, and I'm interested to seeing how the mobile games go into the what was it, the new system that they're developing, the NX, which that was sort of like a drop the mic thing. Like he was like, we're developing a new console, like just drop the mic, you know. I think that was a smart decision just to throw it out there because it made companies like really like excited, and they want to invest in Nintendo now because they know that they're building a new console and they're working on it. But you have to expect that every time a console gets dropped, the company's building the next console. So like
Not Nintendo.
Yeah, I don't know. Who knows? I think they just started development up because I know that when the PS3 dropped, they immediately started working on PlayStation 4. They were like, how can we fix this? Xbox didn't work that way. They
work on Slims for the PS3 for like a while.
Well, that's another team. I'm talking about like a technical team working on the future console.
Yeah.
You know, Nintendo didn't do that. They just started it supposedly. They said we're not going to hear anything more about this console until 2016, which I think is nuts. I mean, you can't just name drop a console in the beginning of 2015 and say, oh, by the way, you're not going to hear anything until 2016. So we have to expect we're not going to hear anything about this
E3,
this NX console until
E3
a year and a half.
I'm thinking E3 2016.
E3 2016, and then it'll probably come out. I'm guessing it'll come out in the fall or
17
or mid 2017.
That's so far.
That's so far away. That's
by that time PS4
2 or 3 years.
By that time PS4 will be
PS5
floating.
PS5 will be up.
Not
there.
even that, dude. Your PS4 will float with you, and you can play games anywhere.
It'll be in your headset. Like everyone will be walking around.
Everybody walking around with VRs by then.
Those Morpheus headsets, you know, everyone will have them on their head.
Yeah, I think Nintendo is. They've been doing. They had a good strategy for many years. That's how they survived, but I think their strategy's dying a little bit.
Yeah, I do think.
I think the amiibos are cool, like you were saying. It's giving them their second win, but then again, if you just think about it, it's microtransactions in a different form. That's all it is.
Yeah, because I think I don't know. I'm interested to seeing if the mobile platform will like connect with the console.
Yeah, for the new console, right?
With a new console, because I don't know. I think that this mobile thing will totally like Nintendo sales are gonna go crazy because not everybody owns a DS. 95% of the world owns an iPhone or some sort of Android or some sort of phone. But I think that's really gonna save Nintendo here. I think that because they said they're gonna start releasing games this October for the phones. So
you know what I'm thinking?
It's probably gonna be like a WarioWare game like they used to have on the Game Boy.
You know what I'm thinking, though? I'm thinking since the consoles could work with the phones, I'm thinking maybe use your phone as a controller, or maybe
that's another thing I thought about too.
Because
can you imagine if they released a Pokemon on like an iPhone or like an Android phone,
and then you can port it to that console.
Yeah, like can you imagine I'm playing the new Pokemon game, but it's like a downloadable game on my phone.
But at the same time, there's a reason why companies haven't done that already. You know, it's pretty irritating using your phone as a controller.
That's
people
true,
like
but
something tangible.
I think honestly, like Nintendo is smart. They're the type of company that like when the new game comes out, they're gonna release a controller for it or something. So I think that if they have the controller, like the touchscreen controls for like a game like Pokemon or WarioWare, or like a Mario hit the coin box or something, like some stupid game. I don't know. I think if they came out with like touchscreen controls with that and they worked, because Nintendo's really good at coming out with like crazy control ideas.
Yeah, for sure.
And then except for the Virtual Boy, I don't know, have you ever played a Virtual Boy, that stupid red thing?
Yeah, it's dumb.
Yeah, I played one and I got a headache. Dude, I did. I played one when I was younger, when I was like 5 or 6, when they first were coming around. But also I do think that that they will come out with some sort of Android iOS controller attached to your phone, or maybe Bluetooth to you, like the Moga did.
The Mogo's cool.
The Mogo is cool, but it doesn't work.
Those died too.
They died too.
They died out really fast.
It doesn't work with your phone anymore. I still have the one from E3 that we went to 2 years ago.
I sold it.
I couldn't sell it. I couldn't, and I have the Nyko controller.
I still have it. It's still in my E3 bag in my room.
Oh really?
Everything I have. Yeah.
But I think they're gonna come out with a Nintendo branded
iOS
controller.
I still have the. Disney Infinity toys, dude. They're still in my room.
I do too. I still have it in a box too.
Does it work with the?
Yeah,
Did
it
you
works.
try it?
It works. It's the same thing as the Captain America. I got Captain America, and it's the
You
same.
bought it twice, or
No.
you got it for free and then you bought it again.
No, it came in that huge bundle I got. I got
We'll
the,
sell Captain America and keep.
No, because that's part of the Avengers set. The one I have in my room, I don't know. I might sell that one.
That's the E3 version with no box.
I'll just trick people and be like, "Oh, it does something special," but it doesn't do anything.
It does a flip when you touch it.
It does a backflip. Let's what are you gonna say?
No, I was gonna say. I mean, yeah, Nintendo's doing well. As far as their
I think
ideas
the
pushing
mobile
forward.
sales will help them. The mobile sales. For
I mean, we'll see.
phones.
We'll see what they're gonna do with it. I hope they don't release a mobile game for like $12.99. You know what I mean? Because I don't see.
That's what I'm worried about as well. That might kill them because they did invest $10-something million in this DNA company, which they own 10% of their company now.
Yeah,
And
so,
DNA bought they paid $1 million or whatever, and they own 0.3% of Nintendo. That's what I think is interesting. Nintendo bought a huge portion of that company.
That's why I'm curious about the console. I'm thinking it's gonna be a DNA. You know, it's gonna be the first mobile console. Mobilized console where you can use your phone for everything. Maybe Bluetooth. Maybe.
Yeah, or that's true. What happens when your phone dies?
Or me.
I can't play. I don't know. I think that's gonna definitely save their company big time. I just hopefully if the games are like $15 or that's gonna murder them. I think that if they have games that come out for $2.99, 99 cents, $4.99, they're gonna be safe or even free or free add-ons or whatever.
Maybe the first couple should be free. I think to try it out, but I don't know.
All right.
I just hope they're not thinking too far outside the box.
It's time for. Guess what time for? Well, we have one more topic, but we've got the weekly loaf. Loaf.
Wait, what was the last topic? You just said we had one more topic.
We have one more after this. After the news loaf. After you get your slice, dude.
Okay. Cool.
After you get your slice,
I want butter on my toast.
Oh, we're toasting it now, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, this is not really game related, but it's kind of interesting.
Okay.
You're gonna be surprised about this. I don't know if you saw it on my phone or not. I don't know if you've seen this news.
Something about Japan, I think.
Yes.
Okay.
So Japan.
Yes.
The country. I was gonna say the state of Japan.
The
country of
Japan.
Japan.
Island of Japan
is getting a Burger King scented perfume. There's some nuts things. They have, if you don't know, Japan is infamous for their stupid Burger King black burger, which is basically everything is mixed with squid ink.
Mm-hmm.
Don't ask me why. The dough is made with squid ink for the bread. The bread's all black.
I wanted to try it though. It looks pretty dope.
It looks good, but I'm not.
It doesn't look good. It just
I'm a little
looks
skeptical about it. I don't want a bun that looks burnt. I'm eating a burnt bun, all black bun, and then they have this weird black sauce.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's mixed with squid ink or
if you're questioning something, Japan has it. Literally.
Dude, they have underwear you can buy in vending machines. Come on.
They have. As mentioned by the online game magazine Kotaku, they said the scent is dubbed the Flame Grilled. So it will apparently arrive at all Burger King locations in Japan one day in the future. There's no date specified. You have to. It says generally reserved for such foolishness. I don't know what that means, but some people think it's a hoax. It's fake, but it's been slated. On Burger King's website, some guy dug in the code or whatever and saw the perfume or whatever for Japan only.
That's weird. But
it'll give the scent of seduction for the charboiled burgers. So if you have a meat-loving women, buy that Burger King.
Gotta buy it from Japan.
All right.
That was weird.
Next news. That was a weird one. I told you it was gonna be
for a loop.
That was a little strange one. All right. EB Games in Australia. That's the only place I think EB Games still exists.
Games.
That's their GameStop. EB Games is already taking pre-orders for Nintendo's NX.
That's nuts.
Yes. Australian game retailer EB Games is apparently taking pre-orders for Nintendo's next-gen hardware known as the NX.
I think Nintendo's gonna shut them down.
Yeah, which was announced by I don't even remember the guy's name. Some president
Hiro Takamakashika,
something like that.
Yeah.
His name. Pre-orders began for the codename NX. Are minimum deposit of $10 Australian dollars AUD.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know. That's probably $400 in American money.
No, it's like 50.
An EB Games spokesperson explained the decision to open up the pre-orders, despite nobody has any idea what the NX actually is. Following, as quoted, following the announcement Wednesday night, EB Games stated that NX is available for pre-order the next day. EB Games is now a very loyal Nintendo fan, has a very loyal Nintendo fan base, and many who love Nintendo have the opportunity to now put their name down for their new product before it's even released.
They even said anything about. No, I think Nintendo's gonna reach out, dude.
They're gonna turn it down. Yeah, I do, because they're basically taking people's money for nothing.
I mean, that's a promise that they haven't even promised yet.
Yeah, that's true. Like, what happens if this fails? Sorry, you can't get your 10
Sorry, the console's
Sorry,
not
you can't
coming
get your
out.
10 AUD back.
But thanks for the donation.
Yeah. This coming after it was developed that on Tuesday, NX was announced, and the joint partnership between Japanese gaming developer DNA was announced as well. That's crazy. I don't know. Taking pre-orders for something that's not even out yet is nuts. That's like
GameStop saying, you know what? We're taking pre-orders for the PS6. It's coming out 2025, but we're taking pre-orders.
It's like we're going to space. Sorry, you can't go because you got to put $10 down.
Rocket boots.
All right, next slice. The Drive Club developer Evolution Studios is hit with massive layoffs.
Of course.
Sorry, I'm not laughing at those people losing their jobs. I'm laughing at the point where the game was so bad that they're finally getting hit with a layoff. Yeah, Sony probably cut them off big
because
time.
They didn't even come out. Okay, the one version that they could have done and should have done before the game that they sold, which should have been the PlayStation Plus version. If they'd have did that, they'd be fine right now.
Mm-hmm. Sony has just announced as well that they've confirmed that redundancies will be necessary as a result to restructure the entire company, Evolution Studios. Because Sony did buy them. Sony did buy Evolution Studios, which was originally just a arcade game company. They make simulation games.
That's why.
Sony Evolution Studios will now focus on Drive Club as a service going forward. In particular, the important launch of the PlayStation Plus edition will be continued to be worked on.
That's so dumb. They shouldn't do that.
I know that's true. I'm surprised that they're still working on more Drive Club games. It's going to be as a service going forward, they said.
Okay, first of all, make a customization,
right?
Please, because it's at the point where. Arcade racer games. It's like, oh, okay, the Bugatti's in the game. It's the fastest car in the game, so everybody has a Bugatti.
That's true.
It's irritating.
They will be restructuring the entire company of Evolution Studios, part of their SCE, Sony Entertainment Worldwide Studios in particular. So that's one of their main companies in Europe. They want Evolution to have the best studio with the best goals to achieve the highest version of success.
If they want that, they should take a look at Forza.
That's true.
That's crazy because it's two franchises side by side. You got Horizon franchise, and then you have the regular Forza.
They've got 3 teams working on those games.
Nuts.
Yeah, I know.
No, those games are crazy successful.
Because I know they have one development team for Evolution. I mean, not Evolution. For Forza, Horizon, and then one for what was the other one? Just regular.
Just Forza.
Forza.
Forza Motorsports.
And then they've got the third team that just goes out and drives tracks and maps out racetracks.
Dude, they travel the world, dude.
They do.
That's nuts.
Which I think is crazy, and they still haven't seen every racetrack.
I was looking at the video of them.
The one is actually it's a scale in the game. Like you drive 4 miles, you're driving 4 miles on a track. Yeah. Like your lap will take forever.
Yeah, dude.
I'm not even joking.
And that's why I love Forza. It's like number one, you can make the car how you want, which is like not a. I mean, a lot of people in this day and age want what they're playing to be theirs.
Yeah,
totally. A specific signature. So, I mean, that's what Drive Club needs to realize, that nobody plays arcade anything anymore. Yeah. But just generic things.
All right. Next slice. You ready for this? This is the thing I'm really excited about because I haven't heard anything about this game for a long time, almost a year. Star Wars Battlefront will be making its debut next month in April. EA has confirmed that the Star Wars Battlefront game will be shown off for the first time next month in the Star Wars anniversary celebration. It will take place between April 16th and the 19th in Anaheim, California. So it will be close by. For us, yeah. Yeah, it'd be close by for us, but I think you might have to buy tickets for it. I'm not sure. Gameplay is expected to be seen at the gameplay reveal location in Anaheim, California, where more publishers will be attending as well. So it might be like a mini E3. I don't know.
Cool.
The spokesperson. His name is Nicholas Fergus. He said, You've been very patient, young Padawans, and you will be rewarded for your patience. We could not think of a better way to appropriate the place to debut the game officially for the first time at the premiere event that celebrates the Star Wars universe for its anniversary and all of the legions of fans that we have and have fell in love with our game. So I'm pretty excited about that because I'm like kind of a Battlefield fan, and DICE is working on Battlefront. So I thought that game totally got cut off after the whole Disney purchase.
Oh, yeah.
They licensed the game to DICE to make a really good one. I was nervous about it because they cut off the studio in 1919 or whatever, the 1818 or whatever the game was.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, I was pissed. And that game got canceled. And they have the concept art and the demos of the game that was like shown on IGN. Cool. That was nuts, yeah. Next topic. Next slice.
Good job, EA.
God of War 3 Remastered is coming to PS4.
Oh,
I was actually surprised. It will be hitting July 14th.
Why? I don't understand why they would do that. Cause
Sony has announced the God of War 3 Remastered coming to PlayStation 4 soon in July 17th. It will feature 1080 graphics, and this will celebrate the 10th anniversary of the entire franchise.
Then give us all 3 games.
Yeah, right? Don't just give us the one...
The worst one out of the
It was the worst one. The second one was sick. The first one was amazing, but the second one was dope.
Yeah, the third one was just like retarded.
The third one was kind of like, oh, by the way, the gods still hate you. Just go kill them all.
Yeah.
You know, I thought that was really dumb. I really didn't like that. Was the worst one out of the franchise.
The story didn't go really well. I mean, I don't know. If you're gonna come out with a remastered and it's like the anniversary, give us all 3 games.
Yeah, that's. I totally agree with you.
So.
All right.
Especially for $60.
Are you ready for the?
Why would you pay $60 for the one game?
For the remastered.
We just got Borderlands 2 with all the DLC and 2 games.
You want to know the new thing that's coming in? The new feature? Screenshot mode. That's the only new feature in the entire. So have you played God of War 3?
Well, you can do that with the PS4 anyway.
I platinumed it on my PS3. I've already destroyed. I played that game for like 5 hours. I beat the whole thing, and I was on hard mode. I was on God mode or whatever.
On 3 or 2?
On 3.
Yeah, 3 was really short.
Because you can't platinum those games because they're not on the PlayStation. And they're not on the new system.
Mm-hmm.
They're on the PS2. So I don't know. God of War 1 still my favorite.
The first one, yeah, because it introduced the story and everything. It was sick.
The story was nuts. The first level where you have to fight the Hydra.
It was crazy.
Hail Hydra. Next slice of loaf of bread.
Toast.
Put it in the toaster. All right. Super Smash Brothers content update. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
It's not really news, I guess. Well, it kind of is. It is announced that Mewtwo DLC has been coming soon for those owners of the 3DS version and the Wii U version.
Oh, yeah, I've heard about that.
So you have to own 2 copies of the game to get 1 character.
Are you serious?
Yes. That's the thing.
Dude,
Pokemon fans will be able to play as Mewtwo in the new Super Smash Brothers for Wii U and Nintendo DS pretty soon. It's not announced when he's coming out, according to Masahiro Sakurai. That's his name.
You said that wrong.
I probably did. As a recent event in Japan, Sakurai, that's what it is, said the team is pretty much done with the Mewtwo DLC, with balancing the Mewtwo character as well. Gamers don't have to wait too much longer when they're hurling purple balls of psychedelic energy at their friends in Nintendo's popular fighter. Back in October, Nintendo did announce that owners of both 3DS and Wii U versions will be able to download Mewtwo for free. Otherwise, if you have one or the other, you have to buy the character. So
that's retarded.
Yeah, I think
there's gonna be such a crazy fan outrage. They're gonna give it to anyway.
I'm surprised that it's taking this long because the game did come out last year.
Well, I mean, they're still trying to figure out. I mean, other characters to add. You know.
Yeah, that's. I guess you're right.
So,
I
mean, it's probably just a last minute thing, or maybe they put Mewtwo on the back burner for a while. Who knows?
Yeah, that's true. All right, next slice. The latest 3DS updates for you guys who have the Nintendo 3DS regular, not the new one. They're as of let me see this. Let me see the date. Where is it? It's not actually no date. Sorry about that. You can prepare for the next update. Are you ready for this, guys? Nintendo has been rolling out the newest update for the 3DS system. This update includes Amiibo support for systems that do not have NFC adapters. So right now, the new 3DS, that's why it's new, because it has a little chip in it so that you can read your Amiibo.
Like all Androids?
Like all the Android, yes. All Androids do have
watches.
NFC, and the watch has NFC. iPhones have NFC too, but that's how you do the Apple Pay.
Yeah, but it's locked, right, for certain things.
It's locked on the
iPhone,
iOS. Yes, it's not opened up to developers yet, like everything else
which is dumb.
Which is really dumb. So the Nintendo software update coming to the 3DS XL and the 2DS is hitting. It actually did hit already, March 23rd. So it's like 3 days ago.
Yeah.
And it will introduce Amiibo settings and support for the old handhelds of the 3DS. It has already been unveiled that some sort of dongle is coming out for the 3DS so that you can use your Amiibos for the old version.
Cool. That's just another thing that you have to buy.
Yes.
So,
last but not least, when this episode is hitting, PlayStation 4 will have a new software update tomorrow. 2.50 arrives on the 20... What day is it today? What day is it?
It's the 25th.
It arrives on the 26th. Thank you. It will give you the option to suspend and resume chats, I guess. I don't know. It doesn't say. It is set suspend resume feature, which is put your game on rest mode. Oh, it's finally giving you that, so you can suspend the system while your game is still on. It doesn't turn the game off. So it gives you the function while you're playing your game. So you can put your game into rest mode and it'll stop where you are in the game.
Yeah.
I thought that came out a long time ago though, but I guess it didn't.
No, it came out for a minute. Then they added a new version.
Psych.
No, they added a new version because it was really buggy.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't work properly half the time.
Right.
So.
You will be able to back up and restore your hard disk to an external hard drive. That's sick. So I can get like a 3 terabyte drive, like mine already has 2.
There's 2.
So
yeah.
just like drop everything on there, delete some of the stuff I don't want, and then just re-upload it, like totally backup. So if your PlayStation goes down,
you're fine.
That's dope. You're fine. You also be able to send real name requests and friend requests simultaneously at the same time. So like if I send you a friend request, and then I have to wait. I have to wait for you to accept it, and then
send another
one.
Real name request.
And then once you going back to the rest mode, it says you can quickly resume your game by just pushing the PlayStation button and turns your system on, and you're playing the game again.
That's so cool.
That's dope.
I can't wait.
That way you don't have to go to
Borderlands.
That way you don't have to push the PlayStation button. You don't have to go home and then log into the game and then play the game. You can just
you can't really do that with Borderlands because it doesn't really pause. So you probably
it does if you push pause.
The pause button. That's right. That's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
It wasn't like that.
So as of January or as of February, the PlayStation 4 has sold 22.7 million copies.
Outstanding.
That's amazing. I'm actually very, very excited about that.
Of course,
that gives you that's like all the people we can be playing with.
Yeah, I know. And on top of that, I mean, that gives Sony more room to develop more crazy updates for the PS4. I mean, they promised a lot of things.
Yeah.
And they've already said that VR head support is coming.
I really hope that the Morpheus is coming out in the end of this year.
It's gonna be so expensive
because I don't think it will though. I don't know if it will be. I really hope it comes out.
Do you know about Sony's TV goggles? They had not goggles, but they're
3D ones.
Yeah, the ones you put on your head and they plug into your PS3.
No.
Well, those came out and they're $800, and they sold 0.
Yeah, but you can plug into them. That's why I think.
But this is a VR headset, so if
they're gonna make it smart though. They're gonna make it smart.
Well, how much was the Google Glass? $1,500.
$1,500, but that was like a prototype, and that got sold. They're not making Google Glass anymore. They stopped.
Well, because so many companies outlawed them in their stores and around their products because you can easily take pictures and stuff like that. So
I still think it's funny when people see them. I just think of I just see a guy with Google Glass. I'm just like, I look at him, it's like, dick. Like you just look at them and you just immediately like, dick. You just give him a wink. You just give him like a wink, and it's just like, you're a dick.
Yeah, but then again, you got to look at him and say, you're one of the elite 20 that have.
Yeah, you're like one of the 5. All right, that was the weekly loaf for the week of the 23rd. Loaf. All right, going back to the topic, the last topic of the day for us Pretend Bird boys before we let you go on your way.
Play Borderlands.
Go play Borderlands
and eat.
and go eat some food.
Some angry burgers.
The last topic. Do you think video game retailers like GameStop, EB Games, and mom and pop shops will be going out of business soon due to the high demand of DLC and downloadable games?
Nope.
You don't think so? I honestly think that because I know GameStop closed 500 stores around the United States.
Well, yeah.
EB Games is owned by GameStop, but they are only in Australia and Europe.
Well, the thing is with that is, I mean, that's the reason why Microsoft's press conference, when they announced the Xbox One, why it got shot down so bad. Because they were like, we're getting rid of all discs, basically.
Yeah.
DLC only. And so many people got outraged for that. I think people still want to feel like when you get that new game, like they still want to feel the box, they still want to. And then, I mean, how hard is it eBay will die too. Game sales for eBay.
But yeah, that's true.
How are you going to sell, the game that you bought? There's no resale value.
Well,
GameStop will die.
Companies like Best Buy are already selling their games on eBay. So they have an eBay store. Like I just bought.
Yeah.
I just bought my Peach Amiibo from
my monitors from eBay.
Yeah, I bought my Peach Amiibo from Best Buy, but that was on eBay, and it's cheaper prices.
But still, GameStop and all those companies could. They honestly could die out because they do a lot of their sales and revenue is based on used game trade-ins and selling used games, So because they get 100% of that revenue because they own the product once you trade it in, they're not breaking the chunk off to the company. So I think they could die, but I don't think it's gonna happen. I think people love having something tangible. Same thing with Amiibos, right? They can easily
because Nintendo did announce that for all the Amiibos they're not making again, that they're completely out of print, discontinued. No, they're gonna be releasing trading cards.
Oh, that'd be dope.
So it's cool because you can be like, oh, I got this. Do you want this?
Holographic.
But I think that's kind of for people that didn't get a chance to get those, that now they're on sale on eBay for hundreds of dollars, and some of them are $90, $50. People don't want to spend that for one guy, So I think releasing them again as a trading card is a low blow. But I don't know. I think companies like GameStop, their only way they can succeed is with the used game market.
Yeah,
that's
they make a lot of money.
New games
and consoles, somewhat. Yeah.
Yeah, new games are just a middleman. Personally, myself, I would prefer to. I do enjoy going into a game store because it's oh wow, it's like a boutique.
Yeah,
that's why EB Games
stands
for
electronic, tangible. Yeah,
electronic boutique. Personally, I love getting the disc.
Yeah, I love it.
I love the disc because there's always cool disc art. There's always cool box art. Yeah. There's just cool
something
things.
Tangible. It's something about ripping open the wrapper and smell that fresh coat of.
I love
plastic.
it. I love when you first open up the game.
Box.
It's oh yeah,
that new game smell.
That new game smell, and then it goes away after 5 hours because the game's been open.
I don't know. I think if everything's digital too, they're gonna have to massively increase hard drive space for consoles.
Yeah, they've been doing that. I think that PlayStation's been coming out with bigger hard drives now. They sell a 1 terabyte.
But 1 terabyte, if every game is digital, especially with the size because of graphics and stuff
30,
like that,
60
30
gigs.
to 60 gigs, it's not going to last long at all. I think that would hurt the console companies if that happened.
What about mom and pop shops?
They're already dying out.
There's one down the street from me called Gameplay or whatever.
But those really they already have a hard time competing because GameStop has all these trade programs.
They do. I did notice that they do have. But what I do like about those is that you can go in there and buy a Game Boy Color game.
Yeah, no, the mom and pop shops are
those are
around because you can buy the classic stuff.
Old, yeah.
That's not even that. The rare things, dude.
Yeah.
There's one. There used to be one in Glendale, right across from the Americana. It closed down. I think it was called Game World or something. And you went in there, they had all these super rare controllers that you can't find and consoles that you couldn't find anywhere else. They had an Xbox One. It was a wooden edition. Some crazy Japanese or something, some other country wooden edition that had real wood on it and stuff. I was like, what the heck?
That's dope.
Those are the mom and pop shops. They carry the cool stuff like that.
I remember there used to be a Games for Less over here before there was an EB Games.
Less. I remember
there was an EB Games. There was a GameStop, and there was a Games for Less over by my house. I would always go to Games for Less because that was my first experience ever going to a game store. I was the first time I walked in there, I was it was across the street from Toys R Us, too. And Toys R Us had video games at the time, but I was I want to go over there. And I go in there, and that's right when N64 was starting. Yeah. And I remember going in there, and they had every version of the N64. They had the Pikachu edition. They had the black regular edition.
The clear purple one. What was that one called?
That was just the purple one, and then they had the acid green one, which was like the
yeah.
clear green one with like the plastic.
Yeah.
I was like, that's nuts. And then they had the Pokemon Stadium edition,
because they buy
which
those
is the one I still
individually.
have.
They
I
buy
still have
those
the
individually
Pokemon,
from vendors. They don't actually have to focus on
but
worldwide.
I think that's dope though, and I used to go in there and I used to buy. I had the NES still at the time.
Mm-hmm.
I used to buy NES games there. I didn't get an N64 right away. I got the N64 towards the end of the life cycle, because then GameCube came out.
GameCube,
yeah,
Smash Bros.
I love the GameCube. That was the first console I actually bought with my own money.
GameCube.
Yeah, I was like, my mom was like, you can't get that unless you spend your own money on it, dude. I saved for like 2 years.
Dang.
And I bought a black one, and I bought like 4 games.
I had the blue one, dude. The blue cube one.
The blue one, the purplish one.
Purplish blue. That was weird.
And then my dad that Christmas bought me the Game Boy adapter, so I can put it on it's still on the bottom of my GameCube. You can put Game Boy Color games or Game Boy Advance games in the game.
You know what I like the best on N64? Pokemon Stadium, dude. Where you import your
I have that. That's the one I still have. When I got the N64, I got the craziest
thing. It's like
I got the Pokemon Stadium
one. Oh, my Pikachu's 3D now. What the heck?
I know. I love that game. And that's the one I bought, and I bought the special adapter, so you had the expander pack, because some of the games couldn't run on the regular expansion pack. Yeah. So I have that, and yeah, that was my first experience with the game store, and that was like I guess it was a mom and pop store, Games for Less, but it wasn't really, I don't know. I thought that was just amazing. But it sucks that they're going out of business because bigger retailers are just like
drop it in, yeah.
Like Walmart.
But I mean,
Walmart came up in their game company.
Walmart's crazy, dude. They have so much revenue.
They've got like the
top 10 companies, right?
Yeah, they've got the monopoly on amiibos. Yeah. They've got the monopoly on most games and most special edition consoles.
They have money to spend too, dude.
Yeah, that's true.
Tons. But you know, I think in order to GameStop to survive past a certain amount, they have to really change their experience when you go into the store. I think it's cool now. But I don't know if anybody remembers, but there's a Blockbuster in La Quinata I used to go to all the time. I knew the owner there.
Blockbuster.
Yeah,
I used to buy games at Blockbuster.
But he was really cool though. He used to give me like maybe 6 or 7 games. You know that used to have like a limit, like rent 2 games at a time.
Oh yeah.
So he used to let me rent as many movies and games as possible. So I used to go there all the time, you know. And he had a plan, or corporate had sent down to him a plan before they went out of business to change the Blockbuster around. They were adding like was it like a little like deli in there, like a place where people can go and actually have an experience and hang out with their friends, kind of like they used to have those what are they called, cyber cafes and stuff, where you go and play like Counter-Strike and then eat pizza and hang out with your friends.
Yeah,
I think that needs to come a comeback. I mean, people loved doing that.
Yeah, that's true.
Like think of a GameStop, right, with like a cyber cafe type of feel, and they got coffee in the corner or pizza or whatever, and you have like game tournaments on a couch somewhere.
Yeah,
I think they have to change their experience somehow, some way in the future, because just walking into the store, grabbing your game, and walking out, it's not really giving players the experience anymore.
Yeah, because most characters, they are characters. Most people that work at GameStop are kind of a dick. I mean, they're like, oh, I got the job and you don't have a job at GameStop. Like, I'm cooler than you.
Yeah, that's what
I think is what hurts them. Personally, like yesterday, I went to go pick up Borderlands, and the guy in there was like, I was like asking him about the new wave of amiibos, and this guy was like, oh yeah, you know, Nintendo doesn't care, like they're not gonna tell us, like blah 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 blah. I just asked him for something simple, and he was being a dick. Like I was like, do pre-orders open for that? And he's like, no, they're not gonna have pre-orders again for that. They're just gonna release them. I was like, I don't think so. And he was just like, yeah, dude, like whatever, like amiibo suck anyway. Like I was like,
okay.
I had this like troll face, like. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's another thing that's been really hurting GameStop and stuff, because they
should hire the Garrett and Nick team.
They hire the people who are kind of dicks, you know, and like the little stores like Games for Less or whatever. They didn't hire dicks. They had people that knew about video games. They hired people that, like, if you come in and you showed them, like, you know, I love games, I love this. I'm like, every time I went to Games for Less, always a dude that was like
new stuff.
Yeah, games are like. I love games.
That's how it was at Best Buy, dude. When I worked at Best Buy and had all these people in, like in the gaming department, I'd ask them, "Hey, bro, you heard about like the new, the PlayStation, the gray one that's coming out? Oh, what's a PlayStation? You know, it's like what? Dude, come on, you're
PlayStation 4. What's that? They're on 4 already. I still have 2.
I don't know. Yeah, that's what like you were saying, dude. I miss going into a game store and asking them. It's like right, you have IGN, right? That's where you find all the news at. But how cool would it be if you go into a GameStop and like ask the question, they're like, oh yeah, well IGN said this. You know what I mean? They don't really know anything. They just know what they're trained to say. It's like, is there anything cool coming out for Borderlands 2? Oh well, corporate told us there's a Claptrap edition worth $5,000 you can buy. It's like I don't care about the stuff I know.
I agree. I 100% agree. And I just kind of wish that like GameStop would be like the smaller stores and have like the old systems. Like, can you imagine if you go into a game retailer and they're just like, what system did you want? We have the NES, we have the Super Nintendo, we have the PlayStation 1, we have GameCube, we have like all the game consoles you can get. That's a game store. And here are the different
editions for each console that we have.
Yeah, that's a game store to me. Like I don't want to go in there and be like, oh yeah, we don't take those anymore. What's a GameCube?
Yeah.
What's a NES? I don't understand what these games are. And I'm like, dude, I wish they had those games there. Like they still sell like Game Boy Advance games, but it's like the shelf that's like bare. There's like
like 4.
There's like 4 games, but those are all like there's like Hello Kitty Racetrack Edition. Like it's like nobody wants to play those games. That's why they're still there.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it too is especially GameStop companies, bigger companies like GameStop. They have to keep constantly bringing in new stuff. Mm-hmm. And that's their problem. Mom and pop stores can keep the older stuff because they're focused on
because they're not so big.
Yeah, they're focused more on customers, individual people, versus store wide sales. So
yeah,
I mean, even every time I go to GameStop, they're like, "Do our survey. We need surveys now."
Yeah, just tell my boss how I'm doing. Come on, here, want to fill this out for me? It's like, I don't want to fill this out for you. I'm sorry.
And
I want to go home and play my video game.
I feel like no one wins the $100 raffle. I feel like no one wins it.
It's just the thing to get you in.
Yeah,
get you to do that kind of thing.
But I don't know.
I really want that experience back, but I don't think it's gonna happen again.
I think if GameStop does that, I think people will really push for the discs, the tangible. For me, like honestly, that's why me.
Well, just like everybody's saying, consoles are going out. Like, do you not see how many consoles that these new systems are selling?
Consoles are not dying. Like same thing. That's like saying PCs are dying out. Everybody needs a computer.
I know.
So
because it's like if consoles are going away, then why is PS4 like 22.5 million sales already worldwide just in a year of the console coming out?
Crazy.
Look at Xbox. I mean, it's not as good, but it's like 2 to 1, 3 to 1.
It's like 11.
It's like 11, 11 or 12 million. It's like.
Well, they had a rough start.
Yeah, that's what kind of killed them. Because when PS4 was at 18, they were only like 5 million.
No, do you know what killed Xbox, dude? When IGN opened it and
it was
put it in the disc,
it was
like, okay, everybody just witnessed the Xbox One destroy a disc worldwide on IGN.
Yeah, I think that's another thing that killed it.
Yeah, their console sales went after that, dude.
But I just want that experience back, but I don't think it's gonna happen. I would want my kids to be able to go to a game store and be like, this is what I did when I was younger. Dude, we should open up
Pretend Bread Boys game store, dude.
You know how much head over whatever it's called, overhead.
I know, just to buy games from the companies.
Man, jeez.
But still, imagine that though. Imagine how dope it'd be. You walk in and it's like they have gaming pods in the corner, dude.
Nah,
gaming pods.
Because then you got people in there for like hours. It's like
limit. You get shocked if you stay there for more than an
hour. All right. Well, I'm just gonna. How long are we? Wow, hour and 17 minutes already. All right.
Drop a comment.
Drop a like. Subscribe.
Yes.
Subscribe to our podcast. Let your friends know about the podcast. Comment. You can also reach us at pretendbreadboys@yahoo.com. You can catch us on every podcast services around the globe. And you can download that on your iPhone, Android, any other devices that you have that can play a podcast. You can download it.
And we'll soon be streaming some gameplay too. Pretend Bread Boys on Twitch.
Still trying to figure out the Twitch thing. That's kind of weird. But also we drop the MP3 video every Sunday this weekend.
Yeah, I guess.
I don't know.
This weekend.
And each and every week we record a new podcast, drop it up on the podcast services around the world. You could download it anywhere you want, have fun with it. Cook some bread with it, toast it, make some toast. I don't know, whatever you want to do with it.
Also, if you have any questions you guys want us to answer the next week's podcast, or you guys want us to talk about a specific topic, drop that comment as well, or email us.
Drop a comment, email us.
We will talk about it.
Yes, we will bring it up to you as well. That has been our episode 4 of Pretend Bread Boys, and see you next week.
With butter on it.
Toast.